Actually, my story goes pretty far back. In high school, I was not the perfect student. Though by my sophomore year, I think I had every wood shop that my high school offered taken. And they actually were making up independent study wood classes for me to continue so I could just get to work in the wood shop. So I knew rather young that I enjoyed working with my hands and building things. It didn't hurt that my dad was a carpenter for 40 years. My uncles, I have 4 brothers, every one of them has been in or around the trades in some shape or form in their life. Though, like I said, I didn't make it through high school with the best grades, and upon graduation, I didn't know exactly where I was going. And I think I took a little detour and I ran off and I joined the Marine Corps. And after 4 years in the Marine Corps, I'd say it squared me away a little bit. And when I got out, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a K-12 history teacher, but that's not where I ended up, of course. But I went on and I enrolled in courses at Metro, and but for the meantime, I needed to make money. I needed to earn a living while I went to school. And my dad directed me to go down to the local Carpenters Union Hall, where I went down and I registered there, and I began working with my father on the job site doing interior commercial finish for a company here in Omaha. As I worked full time, I went to school full time at night. I did that for about 5 years. I completed my 2-year transfer degree here at Metro. I went on to UNO, and as I was working toward my history degree, I found out I really liked construction, and I was good at it. And with the company I was with, I just decided that, hey, I'm going to change gears here. I can always get my history fix watching the History Channel or Discovery or A&E or something. So I decided to come back to Metro and get my associates in apprentice-related technologies with my experience at the Carpenters Union Hall. And then within a couple months after doing that, I also turned out at the Union Hall as a journeyman carpenter. So that's kind of how I got into the trades. You know, at Metro, of course, I do teach a gauntlet or a variety of classes, and I'm one of 2 full-time faculty here. However, we do have a great supporting cast in our program. We have several adjunct faculty that come in and help teach some of our specialty programs. We have a masonry instructor who runs his own masonry company, and I can say the same about our concrete finishing instructor, our EFIS instructor. All 3 of those guys are out there running their own companies, working in the field every single day. You know, and on the managerial side, we bring in, you know, instructors that work as superintendents for Kiewit, or you know, our construction law class is taught by a lawyer. So we do bring in particular adjunct faculty that focus on particular classes that would help benefit our students. I think if I look back on how I got to where I am right now, I couldn't probably peg one person that's made a role in my life, but several people. You know, from my 2nd grade teacher, Miss McNally, who I always will claim to be my favorite, and she always will be my favorite teacher I ever had, to my high school wrestling coach, to my drill instructors in boot camp, to my first foreman, you know, and of course along the way, I think my dad has always been a pivotal role in how I ended up in construction. You know, he was always there teaching us how to fix things, build things, and as a little kid, I can remember just going in the garage and seeing him working on something and doing something, and it really just showed me that's what I wanted to do. Being an instructor, especially, you know, at a fairly young age, it's a humbling experience. Walking into a room full of your peers and trying to get across information that is going to improve their lives, it's humbling in itself. But you know what I've learned in the 6 years that I've been here at Metro now is that I'm going to get out there and I'm going to teach them what I know. And what I don't know, we're going to figure out together, and we're going to prepare these students to become successful workers out in the workforce. And if I had to say, if I wanted them to take one thing from me, gosh, a good work ethic, responsibility. They're going to do what they say they're going to do. What gets me going and why I come to work every day is because I love to see these students succeed. I like to see them get out there in the workforce and succeed in their jobs. I'm mentoring 6 interns right now, and they are all out there in the workforce, and to see the smiles on their face, the success stories that they tell me, how happy they are that they're out there working in the career that they want to, or in the field that they want to make a career in. I love to compete. There's something about competing and doing your best. And Skills USA is a great way that we can measure our students in our program against the rest of the technical colleges in the state and the country. And our students in the past couple years have done tremendous. We actually have a returning national championship teamwork team, which have won the state competition the last 4 years in a row. We have competitors competing in carpentry, masonry, cabinet making. In any given year, they have gone down to nationals and competed at the highest level. Kind of going back to the mentors that I've had throughout life, I've also had some senior faculty and administrators here at Metro that have really mentored me. Dave Horse has been a huge role in the fact of getting me out in the community. He has been doing service learning projects well before I started here at the college, and he goes out into the community and he'll build a handicap ramp or a deck or do an energy audit, working with low-income elderly, getting out and giving back in the community. And he's really kind of taken me under his wing to help me do that. So I love going out on Fridays during the fall or spring quarter with my students, getting out there, building projects out in the community. That's one way we can get out there with our students. Another way to kind of stay abreast is through our interns and going out to their job sites and talking to their supervisors and talking directly with industry and getting feedback from them saying, hey, this is what we're looking for. These are the traits or the characteristics or the skills that we would be interested in from your individuals. The one thing I liked about being out in the field was camaraderie, the brotherhood of working side by side. But at the end of the day, when you were done working, you could step back and say, I just built that. Or driving by a project with my wife and my son, and I'll be, I worked on that, or I worked on that, or I built that building, or I did some work there or that. So you always had something tangible, something you could see. At Metro, it was different. At the end of the day, sometimes you couldn't instantly see, your work or your outcomes. It was a work in progress. You didn't get the feedback and maybe till a year later or 2 years later, or when a former graduate comes up and says, hey, I'm now a superintendent, or I'm a project estimator, or I'm building these awesome homes. So it was a little bit different on seeing the reward or the fruits of your labor, if you will, from the actual being in the field as moving to the classroom. But the nice thing about being in the field was when I dropped my tool belt, that was the end of the day. And then when I put it back on in the morning and we started again, here at Metro, it seems like your work just follows you everywhere you go. At home, I'm answering student texts or emails if they have a question with their homework, or if they're running late for a class, or if they're working on their internship or this or that. It seems like, or helping them figure out which class to take next. So yeah, the work is a little bit different, from actually being in the field. So. My name's Trevor Secora. I'm a construction technology instructor here at Metro Community College.